The random word for today is hypnothize, which I don't even think is actually a word, but it's close to another word, hypnotize. So we're going to go with that. Hypnotize. Theorize. I'm going to take apart this word and try to monopolize a meaning. If there's one thing that I would get from the word hypnotize, it's that there are so many outside influences that are pushing upon us that subliminally, I don't think we are even aware of. And they oftentimes shape and mold our perspectives and our behavior and how we respond to things. Case in point, I would say that fundamentally we have our nature, but then our culture, our friends, the information that we take in, social media, the news, all kind of like slowly shape and mold and nurture us and kind of put us into a state of hypnosis where maybe consciously we don't accept everything, but subliminally we're kind of absorbing and taking everything, and by virtue of it being subliminally influencing us, it's kind of hypnotizing us or shaping our character. And so if there was one thing that I would take from hypnotize, it would be the idea that you can positively brainwash yourself and hypnotize yourself and create external but still subliminal influences and suggestions that you kind of take in that indirectly shape who you are, what you believe in, your behaviors, and kind of in a way shape your destiny. So here's a good example. Every morning and every evening as you go to bed and you get up, you go into multiple different brain states or brainwave states. They're called different phases of brainwave waves. There's delta, theta, alpha, beta, and then there's gamma. Throughout the entire day, we're mostly in a state of beta, right? It's high performing, calculating, constantly computing, and trying to like navigate throughout the day. It's mostly, it's almost entirely conscious, right? When you are in an alpha state is more impressionable, but it's more of kind of like a creative liminal phase where you're kind of bridging the imagination and your intuition with kind of like this contextual reality that's in front of you. And so a lot of artists or high performers will go into like an alpha state, and that's where they come up with like great ideas. They create things that are very, very novel and original and genuine and a lot of stuff, right? So that's the alpha state. And then there's the theta state. And the theta state is kind of like, it's this bridge between alpha and delta. And being in that stage is where you can like reprogram your thinking, like your modus operandi, your MO. It's where you can absorb really timeless principles that help like shape subconsciously your behavior, your reactions, your responses, all that kind of stuff. So what am I trying to say? Every single morning when you wake up and every single evening when you go to bed, you go from a beta state to an alpha state and then into a theta state as you drift from being conscious to being unconscious. And so you kind of go into this hypnotic state. This is where hypnosis works, right? So they chant mantras or it's a guided visualization. You go from a beta state to an alpha state, and hopefully you get down into like the theta delta state where your brain waves are going really, really, really slow, but you're super, super impressionable. And then positive things are suggested to you, or things are brought up out of your past that maybe you can't recall thanks to being in this state and then being guided while in this state in a state of hypnosis. Okay, so what am I trying to bring up? I think that you can positively brainwash yourself by creating transcendent affirmations that you loop on audio with binaural beats in the background that have a frequency parallel to that of an alpha or a theta state, and that you can listen to it every single morning and every single evening as you go to bed and as you wake up, when you're in a theta and an alpha state, going into beta or coming out of beta, going into delta. And so, and why is this important? My feeling is that if you can take charge of your destiny and maybe not know where the promised land is for you, but you can go, I have the ability to be able to hypnotize myself and positively brainwash myself with the right kind of messaging, the right kind of persona or characteristics that I want to embody in the real world, in the real world. And I can do this by positively hypnotizing myself, taking advantage of when I am in an alpha and theta state every single day, at least twice, and I'm hypnotizing myself by saying these looped affirmations, transcendent affirmations is what I call them, that are helping your brain reprogram and rewire itself to think as you want to think, and act as you want to act, and to be as you want to be, that will naturally graft into your subconscious, which will then indirectly, but positively and intentionally shape who you are, where you want to go, and what you want to achieve or accomplish or have. And so I think of this word hypnothize, or what I think is actually the correct word, hypnotize, and go, every single day we have the opportunity to hypnotize ourselves twice. Are we actually doing it effectively? And that is my random word generator for today. Hypnothize. There we go. There we go. Oh, cool. Cool.